So we have a call to order and it's a meeting in progress. So Roy, do you want to, actually first, this is going to be a little bit of a come to Jesus meeting for all my wonderful lieutenant governors. So please stick with me and please
Hallelujah, brother.
please take everything with the love that it will be given. And moving on from there, Roy, would you give us an update on the mid-year education? Oh, sorry, Katie.
You're out
on
of
mid-year-
order.
Roy, do you want to do it? Come on.
No, it's Katie.
Oh, well, I will just say that we are in, Mary and I have divided to conquer, and she's doing the 2 in Missouri. We're trying to communicate together. We're forming a little brain trust with her, myself, Jennifer, and Robin, if you want to be on that. But we have committees in each of the 4 areas. I think Susan and AC toured a really great place in Malvern for us to have our meeting down there in Lower Arkansas, also known as LA. And Jerry Martin has confirmed that we can go to the First Methodist Church in Springdale. It has parking, breakout rooms, all the things we need. So that's the main place that we are. My big concern now is that we get the right speakers, because every single person wants an energized, upbeat workshop where people leave enthusiastic and not feeling lectured to, but really motivated to go back and get something done. So we're counting on Brad Boyd to do everything. No, I'm kidding. But I feel real good about where we are, meeting Thursday and then meeting January 6th with my 2 groups. Mary, what are you doing?
Nothing. We're doing
Okay,
nothing,
good,
and we're not going to have education day.
good.
I have met with both of my committees, and we are madly looking for a location. I actually spoke to someone from Logan College today, and she's supposed to be checking. She's a new person we've not worked with before. So I hope we'll have something from that, and we've sent some information out to some other local facilities around. And Kansas City's looking at different locations. We're thinking we might be able to get a library, but we are talking with some various clubs to see if they will provide the host. So we're looking at maybe doing something in Independence in Kansas City area. So we're working on that. We're trying to get that done, but I think, Katie, haven't we discussed some of the other details that we're
Oh,
trying to?
yes, I'm happy to give you that. So we need your approval on the most important thing is cost. What are we going to charge? And we had thought to recommend allowing $25 for the meal and $10 for registration. I think that's $5 more than we charged 2 years ago when we met in person. However, the cost of food and things are going up. So that would really be something for the governor's council or the board of directors to decide.
Right.
We need to push that forward. The other thing is we're looking at 3 topics. One of them is inclusion, equity,
DEI.
DEI, yes, and we want Brad or someone equal to Brad at each of those to present that for us. We have to realize we
Equal
are
to
not
Brad.
doing
If we
Brad.
could get somebody up here, we would, but at
Yeah.
least somebody equal to Brad.
But
There's
there's
nobody
just not,
equal to
Brad.
Brad.
So this
Nobody
is where
equal
we
to
are.
Brad.
And then one on club revitalization that is really motivational for those attending, to not make them feel bad, but make them feel like we are going in the right direction. We are looking at the third one being our new risk management person that would wrap youth protection in. And I think that it is pretty important that we get this across. The Boy Scouts are going bankrupt, declaring bankruptcy because they have 89,000 people suing them because of this. And we have just got to make sure that we do the right things for the right reasons to protect our clubs. So that's that. And then we're asking for a keynote speaker. at each of the three to speak during lunch who is an expert in childhood. We're all trying to work with kids, and we don't really know where we are now as far as how children are reacting after COVID. I do know I've got some anecdotal information on that, but that can be someone in each of the regions and can be decided within the next 6 to 8 weeks. The third thing is our roundtable breakouts after lunch. We're gonna let those be regional facilitators and let each region talk about the topics that they want to discuss. So that's what we're rolling out as of right now. Other than that, I've been doing nothing, and neither has Mary.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Katie, could I ask Katie a question?
You
Yes,
could.
Is the Malvern location the Hot Springs location?
Susan? Is it near? it's near
Malvern
Hot-
is near Hot Springs. It's near Hot Springs.
So that's our Hot Springs location.
Will be if we're good. The committee's gonna talk about it Thursday.
It's
But I
about
think it'll
25
be-
miles.
Okay.
And just, Katie, what I've heard recently from Jeff Otis, our Chief Operating Officer, is that we're renewing our partnership with the Boy Scouts. So I had a couple of other districts that asked me about that. So I was pleased to see that we're going to carry on while others are withdrawing away from them. We're going to stay with them.
Well, they're reorganizing. It's not like they probably served millions of children since the 125 years ago or whenever, when they were established.
Right.
It's just the challenges of past leadership, putting a burden on current leadership.
Sure.
And we all know that a lot of changes have been made, but
Yep.
I'm just saying, let us not go there because we don't
I'm with you.
get
Do
out
our
ahead.
due diligence.
Pardon?
Okay.
Let's
Yes,
not go there because we're not doing our due diligence.
that's right. Let's not be alone in a room.
I-
and we all need to be doctors and first do no harm and then do wonderful things for children.
That's right, Carla.
Barbara, did you have one other thing?
Well, our club sponsors a scout troop, and we've received a packet of legal papers that
Stunning.
are thick and require a lot of signatures. And I was just wondering if the district, I'm glad to hear that Kiwanis International has a stance. Does the district have a stance?
I would scan them and send them to David Kress, our Chief Legal Beagle.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Our
Good
church
idea.
was a sponsor of Scouts, and then this is a sidebar and I'll shut up. And we had to have a council meeting and sign off on a bunch of things, and it has to do with whether you're covered for bankruptcy. It's not a bunch of other stuff. It's not as what you might think against lawsuits. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay, thank you. And this is Andrew McKean, and he's from the St. Louis area. He's a Kiwanian at the St. Charles Club. And his personal project is called Liberty Lives Forever. And he wanted to take a few minutes to let us know about this and see if we would have interest within our divisions, within our clubs, with what he has to offer. Andy?
All right, thank you very much. Hi, Kiwanians. Merry Christmas. Our club donated funds so we could give free little pocket constitution books, these little pocket constitution books, to our Key Club members. So the idea was to, and we also gave it extra books to these high school civics and government teachers. And inside the books are flashcards that are a guide. They're little flashcards. They're facts out of the text of the Constitution. And we're trying to get them to adults as well, where adults would sit and read and discuss the Constitution, with their family, friends, coworkers, anyone in their network. Liberty Lives Forever is a nonpartisan, non-political organization. So this is just public education for we the people. So our club gave out 200 books to our key clubs in the area. Then we gave out 500 books, but not through I had another donor that gave us money to give out 500 books at St. Charles Community College. Every year, September 17th, some of you might be aware, is Constitution Day. So during Constitution Week, which is September 17th to 23rd, we gave out 500 pocket Constitution books to the students at St. Charles Community College. I'm working with the St. Louis County Bar Association, and they're recruiting attorneys to go into 11th grade classes in St. Louis public schools. And the St. Louis County Bar obtained 1,000 of these books, and they're giving them out to all the 11th graders and arranging for attorneys to go in and talk to the students and answer questions about the Bill of Rights. That's what their focus is. This Wednesday, December 15th, is Bill of Rights Day. It's the 230th anniversary of the ratification of the Bill of Rights by the states in 1791. So we're asking maybe you to spread the word to your Kiwanis clubs, and maybe have the Kiwanis members reach out to people in their community to encourage everyone to read and go over the Bill of Rights with their family, friends, coworkers, anyone in their network. Governor Parson did a video for us, which is on our website, which is Liberty Lives Forever, libertylivesforever.org. You can check it out. Also, we're getting one from Senator Roy Blunt did a video as well for us. So we're asking our elected officials, all of them, to do videos. The idea of the videos is to motivate and inspire people to read and study and learn what's in the US Constitution. The books are $1 each plus shipping. So I'm hoping that you could share this with the Kiwanis clubs in your area. And anyone that would want a sample book, I'm happy to ship a sample book free to anyone, any club that wants to look at the book and share it with people in your community. And the goal is, of course, to do as much as we can throughout the state of Missouri and Arkansas, and eventually go other states. I've been doing this program for many years, and the Daughters of the American Revolution took on our program in Utah, and they're giving these books out to fifth graders throughout the state of Utah and doing what's called a Constitution Bee, where the kids get a Constitution Bee and the winners get prizes. That's something you might consider. We did a Wrapping Our Rights competition with another Kiwanis club where the kids did wrapping our Bill of Rights, and they got an award for the best video. So it doesn't have to be the books necessarily. Kids could do artwork, they could do a play, they could do music, whatever they want to do. So that's basically, I have 5 minutes, I'm just about up. But that's kind of what we're doing. If you have any questions, I want to give a minute for questions. Anyone have any questions about this?
Okay, and in the chat, I did put Andy's email address and his phone if you want to get a hold of him individually
Any
or
questions
pass that
anyone have?
information on.
Does anyone have any questions? Any thoughts? I hope you're sharing this with the other clubs in your area. That's all I'm asking. And if any club wants like a free copy, I'd be happy to send it to them. Thank you very much for listening to me, and have a
Question,
Merry Christmas again.
you said there's an email, there's a website?
Yeah, Liberty Lives Forever.
Okay,
libertylivesforever.org.
thank you.
That's the website. We have
That
another.
information, just for you guys' information, that information went out in Carla's message earlier this month, and it's going to be going out in the Kiwanagram this week. So that information will be out on the web.
And the goal to me is to work with people in your community, not just necessarily Kiwanis, but the Kiwanis to sponsor it. And maybe if you get something, to contact your local newspaper. I forgot to mention that the St. Louis Post-Dispatch yesterday had a big article about Bill of Rights Day in the newspaper. And they actually had printed the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments, in the paper. So if you look up, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, you'll see it. So we're trying to get other papers to do the same. If you have any connections with a newspaper, maybe they'll print a copy of the Bill of Rights and just ask people to go over it with anyone they know.
Okay, thank you, Andy. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much for having me. Can I stick on for a while? Or is it private?
I would think you may. You're a Kiwanian?
Yeah, I'd love to stick on. I'd like to hear a little bit more about what's going on with the
Okay.
district.
Membership contest, Roy.
Hey, Mary, can you allow me to share? So I'll be able to share a chart or two here.
I can, hang on one second.
Meanwhile, I'll just report that the KI report for December 1 is out, and the district has a plus 62, I believe it was, which is better than not a plus 62. It's still not as good as we would hope for. That's 20 better than last month, and we certainly need to do better than that in the long run. We are 2 months into the contest. We're going to give away $15,000 in grants, and
Roy, you have access.
okay, and let me try to get this up there.
And while Roy's trying to get that out, 8 of our 26 divisions are not represented by an increase. And those 8 are Division 8, 11, 12, 13, 16, 21, 23, and 24. Everyone else has had an increase of some.
Well, what I've got sharing now is the top 15 in Group A, which is the large clubs, 30 or more members. And the good news here is that we've got more clubs that have an increase in this group than we did last month by about double. Last month I didn't have a top 15, I had a top 11. So now we got actually a few more than 15. So that's good, but that's not good enough. So this simply shows you which clubs are leading. St. Joseph, Missouri is still at the top, and St. Charles number 2, and so on down the line. And then here is Group B, the smaller clubs, fewer than 30 members, and we had one club in Ralph's area, Clarksville, went from 4 to 11. I don't know what they did down there, but that jumped them up back into the positive territory, and so they've taken the lead over Cave City, which had a big jump previous to that. And then some other smaller clubs had smaller increases, but we're doing this by percentage, so that gives everybody a chance, no matter what size club it is, and so we're 2 months into it. There's 4 more months to go. We're just a third of the way through, but it's time for us to get these clubs motivated. We have Paul has put this on the website and put it on our Facebook page. It'll be in the Kiwanagram. We're getting the contest information out, the leaders and so forth out as broadly as we can. But we need ourselves as individuals to get with our own clubs and with the clubs in our divisions and get them interested in this, because we don't want to give away money and not really get something from it. The idea is that we grow Kiwanis by spending money. So that's what I'm asking all of y'all to do is get the word out, and if there's anything that we can do to help with that in that regard, we'll be glad to. So that's all I have, unless somebody has a question that they would like.
I have a question. It's very challenging for the larger clubs in this percentage. Maybe next year we could think of a different way. For instance, we have 60 members, or right at it's for us to get 20% increase, we're going to have 12 new members.
You don't need a 20% increase. You just need an increase. That's The large clubs are not going to have large increases.
No, we're not, no, so.
That's just the way it works. But if, on the other hand, we did it by numbers, then that's not fair to the small clubs. So
Right.
We have 50 members and we've already got 2 and another on their way. We're at number 7 right now. We could easily be up in the numbers with just 5 new members.
yeah,
Right. Last year, my home club of Florissant Valley, which is now up to 51, won 4th place, and we're so excited to do that because that was scholarship money. So it's harder, but it's possible.
and I don't see
And,
you
and
on
when
the
you
list.
think about it, if you look at it like the old each one, reach one, if you have 50 or 60 members, you got 50 or 60 people that can be out there inviting. Whereas if you have 10 members in your club, you don't have nearly as many people out there shaking the bushes and having a chance to invite. So
And
I think it's pretty fair the way we've,
Right, I do too.
Arranged
And
it.
Roy, you're right. We only have 1 new member this year, so we have to
You gotta
get.
get your club going, don't we,
That's
Barbara?
right. That's
Can I
right.
ask? Can I say something?
okay. And everybody did get a
And Andy
copy
had a
of,
question.
Yeah, I
I'm
just-
sorry.
Do any of you have any particular outreach that you've done that you found successful to get new members in, other than just talking to other people? Have you done anything else? Anyone that you know, any clubs that have worked? Because that's, I think, what I'd like to hear. If there's any particularly innovative strategies that some of the clubs might have used to increase membership. Does
The
anyone
best
know of anything?
strategy that I know of is to ask somebody to join, and that works. Maybe not every time, but it does work. And I use email a lot to contact people. We have clubs that have little flyers that can be done digitally or on paper, and they go to people who might have an interest. If you have a club Facebook page, you can boost it there. Do it, reach out as any way you can. That's basically, there's no magic formula, but
Right.
except a personal contact.
Well,
And I'd like to
Bridgeton has done a couple of cool things. One of the things that we found, we have 1 night meeting a month. And generally, up until this year, the last meeting in either August or the last meeting in September, our night meeting, we have a membership reception. And it's a chance for everybody to invite somebody to come to the meeting. And then we talk about Kiwanis and we buy their food and provide them some beverages. And, we've gotten 5 members out of those before.
There are really a lot of different strategies, Andy, but I would really appreciate it if you could contact me after the meeting, because we've got an agenda, and if I don't stick with it, we're not going to
Okay.
get through it.
Okay, all right.
Thanks. Now on the folks that are on here that are trustees or chairs, do we have anybody that needs to share something before we go on with the agenda items? Okay. Barbara, would you go ahead, please, with the new club growth and planning?
Right, and I wanted to preface this by saying 2 things. One is that no district in recent history, I'd say 20th century, has grown that did not both open new clubs and revitalize. So we have to do both. And so I would ask that whoever we have as our speakers at the mid-year talk about revitalization of existing clubs and also opening new clubs. And I would ask all of you to look around your divisions at an area that doesn't have a club and what needs could be fulfilled there. And I would be very glad to talk to you. Your lieutenant governor would be very glad to talk to you. Of course, a lot of you are lieutenant governors, so now you know you're glad to talk to people about opening new clubs. We need to do that. The ones that we have that we are working on is Town and Country. Goodman, is I'm very concerned about the Goodman effort. So the woman who has 5 new members, she says, has had family problems, and you know that family problems, you need to take care of yourself and your family first. And so she's doing that right now. The Bosnian South St. Louis County Club, I have emailed the heir apparent of the Bosnian Chamber of Commerce, who we hope to work with, to see how we might collaborate. And so I'm waiting for a response on that. Springfield North and Branson, we have not started on, but we have, thanks to Governor-elect Roy, the possibility of doing a blitz there and do those 2 clubs together. And that would also give us the opportunity to apply for a grant. So that there'll be more about that coming, and any input that you have, any ideas you have, we would love to hear that. We also have on the list East End, Arkansas, and Little Rock, Arkansas. We haven't started any planning there. So all you all around Little Rock and East End, which are, East End is in the Little Rock metropolitan population area, though it's not in the same county. We need a chair for each of those areas. The Columbia Golden K, is that dead, Carla?
David, you're on, aren't you? Yes. You're muted, though.
Yeah, as of right now, that's dead.
Okay. Well, Carla, you had a suggestion of High Ridge, and I think that's a really good suggestion. So we'll talk offline about
Yeah,
that.
that's fine.
We will, so all of you be thinking about this possible blitz in May, which would be, have you picked a weekend, Roy? Roy is going to give us access to the lieutenant governors who'll be being trained, and that they can come in a day or 2 early and participate in a blitz, which is a really good strategy. There's so much learning and energy that goes on. And so, Roy, have you picked the weekend?
Yeah, it'd be the second weekend, but
So
Barb,
the
don't
second-
call it a blitz. That's
Oh, that's right.
That's
That's
taboo right
this
now.
is a Blitzkrieg, you're correct. So this would be a large group opening of 2 clubs. But look at your calendar, try to reserve that, because the good thing about this is you learn skills that you can use to revitalize your own club. And you're also spreading the goodness of Kiwanis into 2 communities that formerly had a Kiwanis club and do not have it now. And they're, Springfield North in particular is in dire need of help. So that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. And then what I started to say before was we all got a copy, everybody on this call, of the monthly membership comparison. And if you looked at it, you will note that we do have an increase in membership, but we do actually have divisions that during this membership contest have losses. And those are Division 4, 13, 14, 16, 19, and 25. And we have 3 that are totally stagnant with 0. Those are 10, 11, and 12. So if you can possibly get going and get your clubs more enthusiastic, we've got $15,000 sitting out there that will give people a chance to do some projects that they couldn't otherwise do. They can win $3,000, $2,000, $1,000, or $500 to do service projects. So absolutely, this is the time to be on it. And this is the time to make sure that your clubs know about this. I can tell you last year when we had this going, I started making some calls directly to presidents and secretaries of clubs, and you wouldn't believe how many of them said, Contest? What contest? I didn't know there was a contest. I sure wish I would have known. So if you could please be the awesome folks that you are and get this information out to your clubs. They've got to be aware of it. It's good for Alamoark and it's good for the clubs, the health of the clubs. And that being said, we have a lot of things that we can help you with. We have a lot of people being trained to be able to assist you in your efforts. If you're not comfortable with going out there and doing something yourself, contact myself, contact Ralph McCormick, contact Barbara Thompson. We can help you. Ralph's job is to help all of the clubs that are existing with their revitalization. Use Ralph. He had a wonderful history of bringing a whole division back last year. He's got a lot of smarts about how to handle this. Use him, talk to him. He's there for you. And that being said, take it away, Ralph.
Wow. I don't let my head kind of go back down in sides here. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But I'm kind of like, I'm out here, I'm in Arkansas, and I'm trying to assist. And I've contacted most of you probably and others as well, via messenger or via something or another. And some have gotten back to me, some have not. But what I'd like to do is stress the importance, and I do mean stress the importance. We had 180 clubs in Moa about September, August of last year. We had built up to that, and right now we have 164 clubs. Now, that's a change because a lot of these clubs were ignored. Forgive me, but they were ignored by lieutenant governors. And I'm not saying it was you. I'm just saying that it's important that lieutenant governors realize how important they are as a connection between the governor and the club. Now, right now, there's pretty close, depending on which list you look at, 55 clubs that are under the KI recommended 15 members. That's 55. That is approximately 34% of Kiwanis Mohawk that could be terminal. Why? What am I trying to tell you? I've talked to you, everyone before many times, and I've tried to say, okay, we need to do this. Right now, I'm telling you, the reason we need to do it and the reason I'm pushing so hard is because I want Mohawk to come above, pardon me, Brad, above and beyond every other division, a district in Mohawk or in KI. I want us to be a shining light to those clubs above and around us that we can do this. This is not an impossible feat, but I need all of the lieutenant governors to correspond with me, correspond with anyone, Carla, Mary. I would prefer you kind of come to me because they've kind of given me the ball and said, it's in your court, let's do it. And so if we have the 55 that are under 15, we also, to further it out, we have 19 clubs that are under 10. Now, if you're under 10, you may think you're a viable club, but let me tell you what happens. Let 2 of those die, let 2 of them move off, you're down to 8. Who's going to be the next president? Who's going to be the next secretary? That's why we go in and try to assist in getting the membership back up to 15 at least. And I'm proud of those that are 50, but I think there's the potential that they could be 50 people that would be helping all of these smaller clubs as well. And that's what coaches do. And that's what we're trying to do is organize and make sure that no club goes unnoticed or unhelped or unassisted. There's some clubs out here that they're doing 5 members is all they have. That's sad. And part of what I've found, and I've got a dossier on almost every club, all 26 divisions. I can tell you right now, you want to know how your club is doing? Call me. I'll tell you. I've got it all down on paper and I'm proud to share it with you. But you can find it on the dashboard. You know, you don't have to depend on me. Go to the dashboard. If you don't know and haven't been there, talk to Mary. She'll guide you, direct you right through it. If she can teach me how to do it, she can teach you, trust me. We have to get a hand on this. I really believe that at present time, I've emailed 17 different lieutenant governors, maybe more, but close to that. And what I've tried to do is to take and see how can MOARC help you. And what I'm trying to do is I'll get you a literature, I'll get you people. You know, if you need to get a coach, a member building or coach, call me. If you need to get assistance to grow a club, call me. If you need to build a new club, call Barbara. It's very clear.
Hey, Ralph. Hey,
Yes.
Ralph, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you had asked me about getting membership brochures.
Yes.
Since we have Brad on the call, Brad, is there a way Ralph can get membership brochures without having to be a member of a club? I mean, he is a member of a club, but without being a club representative.
You can order them for free. They're on the Kiwanis store. All of our collateral materials. I don't like the fact that store connotes that you have to pay for things, but they're free of charge, the membership brochures.
Well, Brad, you can only order 2 at a time. So I have actually ordered, Ralph, 2 sets of large numbers from Gloria. So, the second, well, Gloria's been out, so there's been a little snafu there, but I think they're on their way now.
And if you need more for a
second
boost or to open a new club, we can, send you as many as you need and all, but Barb's right. They try to limit those going out to 2.
Well, the thing that I do with them, Brad, and what I've done with I had 150. I gave a lot of them out in Division 20, and I sent some out to other divisions that I'd spoken to on the phone because it's a good piece of, it's got the application in it. It's got information about it. You can even tear off a piece and it'll be the receipt.
The receipt,
It's a perfect, did you think of that, Brad? That was your idea, wasn't it? Come on. But it's a good idea. It works fine. And with that piece of paper in your hand, I've told these clubs and in person and some just mailing, go out, start talking, start bringing people in. And I would like to respond to a question that came up a few minutes ago. One of the things you do to bring a new member in is bring him to a club or bring him to an event or bring him to a social event. Get him involved to see what we're doing in Kiwanis. And when he gets involved and sees that,
Or
and
her.
excuse me, bring his or her in there and get them involved because it's important that his or her be known to what we're doing. It's important that we do what we're supposed to do, which is keep Kiwanis going. And I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to be as serious as I can be. And I don't mean to be pushy, but I'm sitting here trying to contact some people, lieutenant governors, and they don't respond to me. I've talked to them one time and then it's like I'm on Block City. Please, please, please treat this as a serious thing. We have to work together. And all I'm trying to do is to get you information where you can do a better job with your division. I don't want to do it. I'm just trying to be there for you. And if I email you, look and see, and email me an answer back. And many of you have, and I appreciate that very much. So anyway, all I want
Ralph,
to do is.
Greg Atkins has a question. Ralph, Greg Atkins has a question.
Yes,
Okay.
Ralph, listen, fella, I echo everything you're saying. And something that's occurred to me since I'm a little slow on the uptake, but it's about 15 months and it's finally dawned on me that we as clubs are walking on the shoulders of our former members, former lieutenant governors, former governors, and I don't I want to be as good as a Kiwanian as they were when I joined. So that to me is something we can relay to these existing clubs. Okay, who are the members that you remember that are not here now, that were active and kept Kiwanis going while you were learning about Kiwanis? And to me, I think that can generate some enthusiasm and generate some energy to go out and get some things done. Just my 2 cents. Thanks.
Well, there were so many people, and you know what the funny thing is, I was 30 something years old when I joined Kiwanis, and then they were my age. They were old people, if you will, forgive me, you young people that are my age, because we're not really old. We're just wearing old bodies. And so you're right. Those people that motivated me, Les Mace was one. Les Mace, bless his heart. He was my governor as lieutenant governor. And he was just, and he is still, he's an amazing person. And he did such a good job. But that's the type of people that I looked up to back then. And I think it's important that we be the same thing. But we have to get ourselves involved with this situation. We have a situation where we lost 500 people last year. 500 members went, 200 and something the year before. That's something we need to seriously think about. And if we can do what I think we can do, and it's not impossible, but we have to work together as a team. Carla, me, lieutenant governors, Mary, Barbara, it's a teamwork. As I've heard before, we're a family. And the last thing a family does is to ignore someone in the family that's hurting. These clubs that are down to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they're hurting. And I think it's important, in my opinion, I want to help them. But I really need the help of every lieutenant governor on here. And I cannot make it any more clear than that. If you're a lieutenant governor, talk to your clubs, travel with them, advise them, assist them, connect the dots with them, react to them, and whatever you can do. And if I can be any part of it with information or getting information from KI, I'll be happy to do it. That's my job. That's what I do. So anyway, any other questions? I'll be glad to answer anything.
So we do have the resources, and we do need you to get out and contact those clubs and help them be viable, because as we all know, recovering from COVID times, our clubs were just decimated. They had no places to meet. There were people that couldn't get into a meeting because they were afraid that they were going to get sick. We have sort of come out of most of that at this point, and so we need to provide all the help we can possibly give to these clubs to bring them back to viable.
But just to
Okay.
remind you all, we just lost Jackson, Missouri. And now it looks like we're going to lose Columbia Golden K. Guys, this is serious stuff. There's some clubs out there that are really struggling and need some guidance.
Let me point out something too, and real quick. I failed to mention it earlier, but if you get on dashboard, and Mary, she's great at that. She can flip it out and make you a genius at it in no time. But you're going to look at your group. Now, Mary, get the compliment. You deserve it. But seriously, if you look at your division and you go in there and you see someone's not reporting, then get on the ball and go over there and talk to them, call them and see why are they not reporting? Why do they not have a new list of officers? And you might go in there and find out that the club has 30 members, but they folded and you don't even know it. And that's horrible to say, but that's how important this is. It's not something that I want to take for granted. I want to be with a winning team. And right now we have to build this lieutenant governor base into being one fantastic hot shot, a club building and member building team, because we're going to potentially could lose 34% of our club next year. We are not going to lose it. This will not happen on my watch. I want to work with you, but you as lieutenant governors, you have to work with me. You have to talk to me and you have to tell me what you need. Brad will be behind me 100% kicking. He will get whatever we need. I see you looking there. You'll kick hard. I know.
Well,
You are
and
spot on.
you
So
all are the boots on the ground. I
You're
mean,
our eyes and
Ralph
ears.
cannot do this by himself, neither can I.
You are the eyes and ears to lieutenant governors. And the other group that I would add to Ralph's list that a lot sometimes overlook are brand new clubs, clubs that have opened in the last 5 to 10 years. If you have those in your division, we always try to line up two coaches for the first 2 years. That doesn't always take. They don't always show up as expected and everything. And we lose most of our clubs and most of our members between years 4 and 5. So if you've got a club in your division that's been opened in the last 5 years, I would stay very close to them, stay close to the vest with them, go to their board meetings, make sure they're on solid, firm footing, that they've got some school involvement in the community, that they're doing meaningful service, relevant service projects, that they have members showing up, that type of thing.
Well, the one thing I want to tell you as Lieutenant Governor this last year, I'm proud to say that some of the clubs that had not met for a year and a half were 96-year-old clubs. Do you have any idea how it feels to all of a sudden talk to them after 5 months of doing everything I could do and flip that club from not meeting to the first meeting being 10 members? They came out of nowhere. And all I heard for 5 months was, I think we're going to close the club down. Never give up on this clubs, because these presidents that haven't been meeting, and you have some in your division. I've got a complete book right here that has information in there about your clubs in your division. And I can tell you right now, if you want to know, call me, because I'll share with you everything that I've learned. And what we have to do as lieutenant governors and the rest of us is to be sure that we do our job and get in contact with those people, because they're sitting out there waiting for help, begging for help, but they're not doing it verbally. So
And Greg had his hand up.
Yeah, Carla, I hate to admit this, but can someone send me Ralph's contact information?
We put that in the chat box and it's in there twice. If you look down at the bottom of your screen where it says chat, it's in there twice.
Okay, thank
And-
you.
Okay, sure.
If you got a pencil and paper, the phone number is 479-970-1001, 479-970-1001.
I'll just forward, Greg, I'll just forward you an email with that information on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super, Mary.
Call
Thank
me.
you.
Call me, text me, whatever you want. We're going to make Moark one of the best districts in all of the Kiwanis, because between the 26 lieutenant governors and the staff, we can do it. There is no reason why we should sit back. We have 9 months to go. We've gone through 3, and I've just been organizing. Now I want to start January 1. Let's kick some booty and let's get this thing done. I need your help, and I'm begging you to call me or do whatever you can do. We'll get it done, Brad. I promise you.
Okay, and we also, a week ago, I sent out to all the lieutenant governors a request to know where all the clubs stood, because the last time we had that information was last February. And I wanted to update, find out if clubs were meeting in person, whether they were still doing Zoom, whether they were meeting at all, whether they're meeting once a week, once a month, whatever. And I sent it all to each of you individually, not as a group. And I got 10 responses out of our 26 divisions. So thank you very much, Patsy McGuire, Greg Atkins, Cheryl Anderson, Becky Panshot, Bonnie Paulsmeyer, Marietta Distelkamp, Victor Head, Dr. Blake Robertson, Matt Silas, and Derek Witt. Anyhow, but the people that I didn't get a response from, please do get that information so that we can figure out what's going on with our clubs. And if you don't have it at your fingertips, then it's not a problem. We can, you know, we can wait and get the information, but we need to have it pretty quickly so that we can figure out where our clubs are standing. And Haskell, I will send it again, but I really did, so I'll send it again. Thank you. Is there anyone else that thinks they didn't receive it? Or, excuse me, that didn't receive it, that I can send it again?
I put on there, Carla, I think some people are using my old Gmail account. I don't check that very often. If you go to gbeckman@bgckids.com, I put it in the chat box. That is a more accurate and useful email.
Okay,
Thank you.
we will
Thank you.
change that. Thank you.
Ask the
Appreciate it,
club
Gary.
secretary to update it in your club records.
Mine's updated. Mary
It-
sends me the emails, but I did not get anything from you, Carl. I'm sorry.
That I will get it, I will get it resent, so it's for sure to you.
Carla, could I ask the lieutenant governors to please publicize the coaches training? Because I counted a slightly fewer clubs than Ralph did under 15, but we need coaches for each of them. And so we have 38 coaches trained and more than that, clubs that need coaching.
What do you want again, Barb? I didn't,
I sent out to you all the opportunities for training to be a club coach. If you'd send that out in your division, because we need all of you to be coaches, but we need more than that too.
okay.
Thank you. And I had already started an email to you, so I sent you Ralph's information. It should be there.
Okay, thank you.
And Mary sent it too, so you have it
So
from
you've
both
got
of
it twice.
No excuses. Okay.
Now your inboxes are gonna be full. Okay, and some of the information that we need to be thinking about, and this is kind of in our last agenda item. Do you know how many of your clubs are under 15? If you don't, you need to know that because it's really important. How many of your clubs are not reporting weekly or not reporting new officers? Now, in that vein, I do have the list here. And in Division 2, we have Burlington Junction, who still hasn't reported their officers for this year. In Division 5, we have West Side Columbia that needs a contact because they have not reported. We have in Division 12, Neosho that has reported nothing. Division 14, Greenville, Poplar Bluff, Scott City, and Clark County have not reported. In Division 16, Corning has not reported, as well as Paragould and Wynn. And in 18, Ava, Berryville, Jasper, Newton County, and West Plains have not reported. And this is not monthly reports. This is not reported their officers for this year. Division 20, Paris and Van Buren. Division 21, Beebe. 22, Crosset and Stuttgart. 23, Columbia County and Foreman. 24, Fayetteville Metro and Lincoln, and 26, Mountain Grove. So we really need those officers showing for this year. Then you can work on, are they doing their reports? But it's, it's basically 3 months after the time that they should have had those up. Well, it's long after 3 months, but we really need to get those officers reported. And anything you can do to make that happen would be totally awesome. And I guess, do you know on the membership contest, do you know if your division has somebody who has, who has positive numbers and who doesn't? Can I see a raise of hands if you are aware of all of your club sizes and whether they have increased since October?
Kinda.
I guess that's a half a hand, Greg.
Yeah. Marshall has had an increase, I think. Was our star club.
Anyhow, all these, your job is just so very much important that I really need you on board and need you looking at these clubs, because we're not going to be able to be successful in communicating all the wonderful things we have to offer to help the clubs if we don't know the basic things about the clubs. So please do take it seriously. I mean, you all started marvelously with coming to training and doing all the things you were supposed to do. And I really appreciate anything you can do to keep it going. And we had this also listed as roundtable time. Is there, in the next 3 to 5 minutes, anything that you would like to bring up for anybody to discuss? But be sure to, okay, Paul?
Yes, I've noticed on the website that when people go to the website on a cell phone, they see something quite different than when you go on with a PC or, a laptop. So I've added a box to help people find the district news column and also to figure out where to punch the menu button. So if you go with on cell phone, make sure you find the menu button.
Thank you. Who is Moto E?
Albert.
Thank you. Albert, it's your turn. You're up.
Yes, I spoke with Ruby Smith, which is the secretary for Foreman today. And she said she was telling me that she went to the dashboard and couldn't get in to make her report.
That's correct, Albert. A lot of things people do not understand, and I hope you share this with your club, is that if they didn't re-up the elected officials, even if they didn't change, they have to go in and put them in before October the 1st. If nobody's included any of the elected officers by October 1st, no one has access except myself or KI. So they have to go in and do that. So if you'll send me Ruby's information, I can at least put her in so she can go in and put everybody else in.
Okay. I
So
got it. I'll get rid of tomorrow.
So then with what I just gave you, all those clubs that need to report, they would need to contact Mary first so that they're able to report, because once they've waited this long, they can't.
Okay, I will notify her tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Albert. Anyone else? Well, if not, we're 7 o'clock, and thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
What's going on with Division 10 and
I'm
Cuba
sorry.
and Union? You mentioned them as a division that's not doing very well, but has no new members. And I know Union has been a pretty strong club.
That could be, but if the division itself is 0, not that a club has gotten some, but potentially in 10, if Union has gotten some members, but other clubs have had drops, they may be in negative numbers for the division. Okay, thank you all. Have a wonderful evening and a very Merry Christmas.
To meet, things like that.
Likewise.
I'm sorry I was late, Carla.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Just got.
You
home from
too.
work.
Bye.
Be safe.
Happy holidays.
Adios,
Thanks,
amigo.
everybody. Merry Christmas.
Thanks. Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Bye-bye.
Get-